Hi, this is MTB214. Going to be doing a short book review. I got this maybe a few months ago, and it's an old sci-fi book, actually from 1963, before I was born, and probably some of you as well. It's called The Man Who Fell to Earth. I actually heard that this was turned into a David Bowie movie, and there's one of my cats coming to say hello. But this book is called The Man Who Fell to Earth. It's a sci-fi movie about an alien that sort of reminds me of like Lurch, being very tall, but he's skinny and frail, and he has white sort of curly hair. And he comes to Earth from his home planet. On his home planet, there was like wars and all sort of destruction and very few resources, so it was like sort of his mission to go there to like prepare the way and then send up a ship to go back to get more aliens of his kind that look sort of humanoid. And when he's on Earth, he makes up a name for himself, Thomas Newton, and he gets rich making all these different inventions and like different patents that he like leases out to other companies. And what he has for his company, like World Enterprises, is sort of like Polaroid film that can like take a picture and get the photos from it, take a photograph with the camera. And he like makes millions and millions of dollars, and he uses that money from different things to do what he's really there for, to make the spaceship to like get his people back. And he's sort of lonely, keeps to himself, even though for years he's studied humanity with like from television broadcasts, because he's from a different planet in our solar system further out. And for years and years studies, but he still isn't like perfect with being human. He makes two friends. One is one of his employees, and the other is a woman they met when since he's so frail, like he had got injured going up an elevator because his planet has less gravity, and she goes to help him. Her name is Betty Jo. I can't remember the friend's name at the moment. Nathan. Oh, it's Nathan Bryce. Yeah, that's it. And Nathan Bryce is like a scientist that like sees about his sort of film and like looks him up and finds him, and then like gets hired and works for him, and then like befriends him. So then the government is wary about Thomas Newton. They find out about him, that there's something up with him, that like he's an illegal alien, and they do all these tests. They could see like physically he's not human, but they let him go because like he's already a famous person and has like his company and all these products, what have you. But with letting him go, they do more tests on him, like a different department, like there's the FBI and the CIA, and one of them does this, and he has very sensitive eyes. They do like some sort of eye test, and it blinds him. And so like it sort of messes up his life. But Betty Jo and Nathan Bryce, they actually get together and like become a couple. And it's years later, I think about 15 years later, that Nathan Bryce goes to a record store and sees a record, and it's like different like poetry. He buys it, he listens to it, and he recognizes, okay, this is the voice of Thomas Newton, who I've known all those years ago. So then he like looks into it and finds him. They speak, and Thomas Newton, part of his mission was not just about like bringing his people back from their planet to Earth to save them, but also to help humans too, to be in like positions of leadership to help humanity not make the same mistakes that his people have done. And Nathan asks him for help, and he doesn't really like say, oh, like it's too late, and he's gives up on his mission to even like build the spaceship to have his people come to Earth, and he becomes like a human being. and he shows emotion which he didn't really show in the past. Like he laughs about something and then he's crying. So he becomes human after all, even though his physiology and different things about him, his wisdom and like knowledge is different, society is different. He becomes human in some ways to stay on Earth and like, accept what is. So it was an interesting book. It was pretty short. I finished in about a week. A little less than a week. I read about an hour a day. I definitely would suggest to like check it out. And there's a movie about it that David Bowie is in. A friend told me. So it's definitely interesting. Like watch the movie if you don't read the book. It's an interesting story. And I'm happy to read like old books, new books. If I haven't read it before, it's new to me. It's new to you if you haven't read or watched something before, so it's definitely interesting. The Man Who Fell to Earth by Walter Tevis. Well, thanks. And you can see it's old. It was only 75 cents originally all those years ago in the 60s. Well, thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Have a great night. Check out my older videos. Take care.